Good morning, you lovely folk. That don't sound right, does it? Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Your Football Show. And it's time for another transfer update, the latest on Leeds United. I hope you are all doing well. How is your weekend going? It is all popping off at Ellen Road, at Leeds United, and of course on the Just Your Football Show, man, because it's just news, busy. You might see me like shoot off to this side just to make you aware. I've gone from having a old TV up there to having a new screen there. Okay, so if you see that, that's where you know where I am, where I'm checking stuff out and that. I have got my live subscriber count up as well, should I say, because we are literally, 35 people away from 12,000 subscribers. So in order to hit 12,000 subscribers in the space of time that I've done it would be absolutely amazing. And I just want to send my gratitude and thanks out to you folks that watch me regularly and any new people jumping on board as well. I can see a few of the regulars in the house, Sporting Central, we've got Joe Madigan, Justin Thomas, Eat, Sleep, Just Joe, Repeat, Jason Malizas, Jay Hawksworth, Simon Hughes, welcome. We've got Tashurna, 85. There we go. We've just got a new subscriber as we're chatting. Thank you. The Yorkshire Tanky's back. We've got Jamie Farrell as well. Loving being a Leeds fan right now, he says. Great stuff. And I can see the subscribers going up as we speak, man. So keep that going. Let's get to 12k on this stream. If we can get to 12k on this stream, that's good. Matt Hayes from the Tottenham blog is in the house. He says, Just Your Football Show, going places. Mate, I know Tottenham are going places. I will say that much. I've been really impressed with the business. I don't know. I guess you had that sinking feeling as well that they would be the ones to mess up Conte. But, after having that up-down sort of season, it ended brilliantly for you in the business, not messing about. We've got Steve Jones in the house as well. There's another subscriber. Big up. Owen Smith, Alexander Askoff. Love how much the channel has grown, I know. And hopefully it'll continue to grow because it will be, if you think about the Premier League watch-alongs that we did, we picked up towards the back end. Next season, it's going to be wall-to-wall, man. So you can join me for that. Senelab says, Chelsea is a wreck right now. I can't lie to you, Senelab. If you are a Chelsea fan, I'm sort of enjoying that. John Crawford, I'm a regular Joe. Yes, you are. Thank you for being here. James says, need Dennis, Kalvin, Bassi and Kamara. We will talk about that. Yes, my man KG. Listen, KG, if you're free now, I was going to message you, bro, but I know you're a very busy dude. I genuinely was going to message you on WhatsApp this morning and said, you know what, I'm going to reach out to KG. I thought it's Saturday. He's probably going gym, cardio. Do you know what? I'll leave him be. But if you're free now, brother, please send me a WhatsApp and you can jump on and have a chat, man. It'd be great to have you back on the channel, man. I know we haven't done a video, I don't think, on my channel. Maybe it was all Leeds TV, but I'd like to, big up KG in the chat. Make sure you go on over and subscribe to KG as well. The guy's a legend. He knows his stuff. And the one thing I appreciate about KG, he takes there's no sentiment with the guy. And I'm trying, not that that's a bad thing, but I'm trying to take some of that one because I find it hard to speak about some of these players, like even... when I was talking about Shackleton the other day, saying he's probably not going to do it, there's a little bit in my heart was going, don't do this, Joe, don't do this. Whereas Cage is just like straight down the line. Listen, if you're not there, you're not coming. Your name's not down, you're not coming in kind of vibe. So there we go. Yeah, Cage, you get on. What we're going to do first of all, so we're going to have a chat about Marc Roca. I've done a little bit of research, a little bit of digging now that he's signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours, Stevie Wonder Tactics in the door. We're going to have a chat about him, look at some of the positives, maybe some of the negatives, and then we're going to talk about Kalvin Phillips and, of course, the links to PSG, which is a really surprising bit of news dropping this morning. And then we're going to talk about the Salford David Silva. He's been coined that apparently Leeds United are looking at and are very, very keen on. And when you hear these links to these Man City youngsters, it's good, and Leeds sort of have a bargaining chip in being able to get them. Maybe previously would have looked at that and gone, Romeo Lavia, the Salford Silva, and we'll drop the name and details a little bit later on. I just want to keep you on tenterhooks. But if we can get these sort of players, they can sort of be a make-way, can't they? A little bit of a sweetener for Manchester City in order to get players over the line. So, yeah, Charlie says, KG, no nonsense, says it how it is. Exactly. No airs and graces. No airs and graces. But let's talk about Marc Roca. So, I announced to you last week Yeah, no worries, KG. Yeah, next week let's work. Let's do that. Enjoy your weekend, bro. Let's do that. Maybe do some Premier League predictions for the season ahead because we're not that far away. I think we worked out the other day. It was only about 8 weeks, was it? 8 weeks. I know there's less than 4 weeks now between now and when we start our pre-season tour of Australia, and I will be doing watch-alongs of them games dedicated to the cause, man. I'm still getting up at 5:30 a.m. whenever that one is. I doubt any of you will be up, but some of you will. And some of you will already be in Oz, and some of you are already in the States that stay up and watch these videos in the AM anyway. So for you, it'll be a decent time for once, won't it? Right, keep smashing the like. Get subscribed to the channel as well. We want to get 12K on this video, and we are now 28 people away. 28 people. So let's talk about Marc Roca. So yesterday, obviously, Leeds United announced the signing of Marc Roca. He won't officially join the club until July the 1st, but the Bayern Munich midfielder is now at Leeds United. It is our third arrival of the summer. The great thing that I love about this is that last season, I think we didn't get our first senior squad signing until like the 17th of July. It is now the 18th of June, and we already have 3 in the door. Yes, 3 in the door, which is, it shows that Leeds United, regardless of if you want to say it was Bielsa, you want to say it was Orta, whatever, right? Whatever the weather, what's clear is that they are learning from their mistakes. Yeah. You know, they are learning from the mistakes. Any super chats that do come in, I will get to them as well. I can see them. Any interesting comments, I will get to them. Okay. So don't worry, I won't have missed them. Matt Hayes says only real football clubs have made free signings already. I know. You know what? You know what as well? Like genuinely, Basuma, 25 million. You know, that's insane business. Tottenham are doing bits, to be fair to them. That top 4 race is going to be interesting for sure. It is. Look, the 25-year-old will sign on a 4-year deal until the summer of 2026. Fee believed to be in the region of £10 million. For us to bring Marc Roca in for £10 million, it's really good business, astute business. That's another thing that's impressed me with the board this time around with Victor Orta is the money that we're spending on players that are improving the squad. I hate to do it, but Rodrigo and Dan James haven't been good, and they're up there with our highest ever transfer fees paid. Do you know what I mean? So the fact that we're getting in players that, for me, could arguably have a better impact on this squad overall for near enough half the fraction of the price of what we've paid for the likes of Dan James and Rodrigo, it's great. And I see a lot of negative comments, because I do read them, folks, both positive and negative. Unless you've just like called me names and that, and then I can't even see your comments, so you're just arguing with yourself. So anyone that's doing that, like, just be aware that you're just shouting into an empty vacuum of space. So yeah, that's the great thing about YouTube. I can't lie, you can just go hide comments. A person going, "I hate you." Yeah, no one knows. Anyway. I've lost my train of thought there just because I was laughing about that. But basically, Marc Roca, born in Spain, the defensive midfielder, began his career at Espanyol, breaking through the youth system into the first team. He won caps for Spain at under 19 and under 21 level. And he also starred for the under 21 team when they won the 2019 European Football Championship. And even to be in them Spanish, even lesser age groups, it's no mean feat, because we know how gifted technically them Spanish players are. So that gives you an idea of what kind of play we're getting in. And now it's just come back into my thought what we were discussing. It was again just in response to some of the negative comments around the Marc Roca signing. I think look, I understand. Let's wait until he's played, but I don't see there being many negatives for the amount we've paid. 10 million in the Premier League for a player that's, done what he's done thus far in the game. I think it's great. I think it's a great deal. Look, he established, I'll put my teeth in. He established himself in the side that first season, in his breakout season, making 25 appearances in all competitions. And then caught the eye, obviously, over the next 3 seasons, making a total of 121 outings for Espanyol. And then was signed by Bayern Munich. When you're coveted by Bayern Munich, then again, I just bring it back. You are not a bad player. Look, Nagelsmann has actually sort of been apologetic towards Marc Roca in saying that he wanted to play him more. He only ever speaks well of him. But when you have Joshua Kimmich, Leon Goretzka, added to that Sabitzer, Tolisso ahead of you, you're always going to struggle. But whenever he did play, he only ever played well. I think Nagelsmann said, he very rarely praised people. Whether or not that was to keep him sweet, I'm not sure. I think, if we're being honest, probably Nagelsmann would have preferred to keep him. But, Marc Roca wanted to play football. That shows the ambition, because we know some players would just be happy to sit on the bench. The Bayern sporting director gave us some more details just on the deal. Said, look, he's got a wonderful character, very professional, very good footballer. We are convinced that Marc will bring Leeds a lot of joy. His qualities are undisputed, and we wish him every success on his future path. And I just want to give props to Victor Orta as well, because, again, Victor Orta takes a lot of slack. I'm a passion merchant. Victor Orta is a passion merchant, and I think that's why I like him. I know there's a lot of people don't rate him, say he shouldn't be in a job after last season, etc., etc. I don't go along with that. I do like Victor. Okay, it's easy to throw out the narrative. He's what about this player, that player? But on the flip side, I couldn't respond with, well, Strauch, well, Melier, well, Rafinha. There's positives and negatives. I guess you could say, if he got it right all the time, would he be at Leeds United? It's a bit like the players as well. It's like, you bring in a player that lacks in certain areas. It's like Dan James, for example. If Dan James could finish, he wouldn't be at Leeds United, would he? Do you know what I mean? You're talking Mbappe with his pace. If he could finich and assist, he'd be up there, right? Because pace merchants, they're unrivaled in the game. Let's be honest. But look, Orta was key. He said it was incredible how Victor made that trip to Barcelona. He had a meeting and explained to Roca why they wanted him, what he can do, and where he can improve. And he said, look, everything that was presented to me I was very impressed, and I loved it from that first moment. And that's Victor. I don't know if you've seen the video as well of Victor welcoming him. We've seen it with Dan James, how emotionally invested he was in Dan James as a signing. He was all hugs. I was watching it last night with my partner, and she said, because my partner was like, couldn't believe what the players go through in terms of the medical. She said, my hip had popped out the way they were bending his legs on that video. But, you've seen Victor, just how involved he is in the transfer. So I think props where props are due. Someone's just mentioned there in the comments, James, the clue is out of position. David, in or out of position, it's still the same, bro. It doesn't matter where you play. It doesn't affect your finishing ability or your passing or crossing ability. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't think so anyway. Like, for me, Dan James, whether he played on the right wing or through the middle out of position, if you're one-on-one with a goalkeeper, you still should be able to finish, I would believe, unless it's on your weaker foot. But I'm just thinking, when he's been through one-on-one in certain situations, he's been on his favoured foot. Would be if he was playing at the right wing or ever you fancy playing him. So I don't think you can level him being out of position at his lack of being able to finish or cross or pass a ball. That's just my opinion, but there are people that know much more about the game than me that will be like, no, you're wrong, Joe. And that's fine as well. Roca had some great things to say himself. He said, look, it's a good challenge for me. It's at the right time in my career. It's a great opportunity for me to be here, and I'm very, very happy. I don't know if you watched the video yesterday, but I was watching it, and they started to speak about that home game against Wolves at the start of the season, and I can't lie, I got so excited because he was talking about the atmosphere coming out at Ellen Road, opening day of the season, the sun shining. I'm hoping, right, for a sort of Marcelo Bielsa versus Stoke vibe, just because Marsh will have had time with his players. That's another thing that we need to add in, is the fact that all these players are in at this moment in time before we even go on pre-season. So he's got a full pre-season to work with the squad. So you would imagine that when we play that opening day against Wolves, we will look a totally different side, and then we add into that the quality that we've added. He did say, I will do my best every day. My mentality is to improve every day, to give my best, to help my teammates, to be part of this incredible team. Props to Junior as well. Junior was key in bringing him as well. He said, look, I spoke with Junior and Junior said to me, the teammates are incredible here. A good atmosphere in the locker room, in the changing rooms, whichever you like. But yeah, look, say what you want about Junior, but at least he's, you know, he's helping us get deals over the line in that respect when he's speaking with Spanish internationals. And it's good to hear that the dressing room is well, you know, so well thought of, you know what I mean, within the group as well. We know we have a decent group. He said, I will help everybody. I want everybody to help me, and I'm sure we will have a good season, and hopefully that does happen. There are question marks over his physical stature or his physicality and being able to adopt to the Premier League game. And he spoke about that as well. So I just thought it'd be key to have a chat about that, because he said, look, physically, I grew up a lot in Germany. It's very different football in Germany than in Spain. Spain, it's more technically gifted players. In Germany, it's much more physical. And he says, I've put 5 kilos on in body weight, and I think I'm ready to be here. That's one of the key things as well. And I've seen a lot of journalists mention this, that although he hasn't had much game time whilst at Bayern, his game will have improved just because of who he's been playing with on the regular basis, which coach he's been under, etc., etc. And he's obviously, his body's adapted as well as he's growing, you know what I mean? As he's growing and getting further on in his career. Remember, he is just 25. He's at a great age. So yeah, that's something that will have improved, you know, because there are question marks over that. I remember when he was first linked, that was a lot of what people were saying, is that whether or not he'd be able to adapt physically to the Premier League. But he says, look, for me, the Bundesliga and Premier League are the most physical leagues in the world. And I'll tell you know, I don't know right now, but we'll see. I'll be able to tell you in a few weeks whether or not he'll be able to adjust. But the fact that he's even picked that out himself, is aware of the adjustments that will be needed. He did go on to say that my favourite position is a midfielder. I like to play with the ball and be strong in defence, always helping the team. The fans can expect me to give everything. I'm a player who loves playing with the ball, but I play as hard as well in defensive duels, which is what we're going to need, because we're going to be missing the player that does that at this moment in time in Kalvin Phillips, and we will talk about him a little bit later on. And then he rounded it off with saying, look, everybody told me about Ellen Road. Everybody keeps telling me about the atmosphere that you have live here, and I can't wait to start games. And, you know, we know about that atmosphere, home and away. Leeds is up there for me, unrivaled, I would say, but I'm going to say that. But it's certainly up there in the Premier League. I think most Premier League fans, even through gritted teeth, would say that, I believe. I've had a look at some of the key journalistic comments after the signing was made. Marc Roca is number 6. He's good at breaking the lines, and he's very much a progressive passer. Excellent ball control that helps when beating the opposition's press, and he has a very mature football IQ. I just want to shout out Tom Wilson as well from Focus on Leeds. He has done an absolutely awesome scouting report that is available in the description to this video. So if you want some more meat on the bones, he's gone into statistical data about previous playing time, style of play, strengths, etc., etc. I'll be here all day waxing lyrical about some of the things that are in there. I've picked a few key points out about his playing style that I want to go through with you now. But if you want to get some more meat on the bones after this video, the link's in the description. Head on over to Tom Wilson at Focus on Leeds. The link's in the description, and check that. But in terms of his playing style, Tom says Marc Roca is primarily a defensive midfielder, but he can also play as a number 8. However, he is much more comfortable as a single pivot or as part of a 2. He is a player who likes to get on the ball and control the tempo of the game, whilst also taking responsibility for progressing the ball. It tends to come via passing rather than carries, but does turn smoothly out of danger. Maybe an improvement on an Adam Forshaw, a next level Adam Forshaw. He says, whilst he isn't a destroyer type midfielder, he does like to pressure the opposition and win back possession. Joe Donoghue as well, of formerly of Leeds United Live and now with the YEP. Just talk about some of his some of his passing range and what he could give to Leeds United. And one of the key points during this is he's left-footed. He's left-footed, which, you put him alongside a right. It can be understated how important that is. And Joe Donoghue, and make sure you follow him on Twitter at Joe Donoghue, shared a few stills that I'm just going to share with you now. So he says Roca is regular at playing these quarterback-style passes, which is something we've been used to with Kalvin under Bielsa. Passes over the top of a high defensive line, which, provided there are attackers willing to run the channels, can diversify how teams attack, not so much one-dimensional, and I look at someone like a Kalvin Phillips. We know that Bamford's movement is great, but someone with pace like a Kalvin Phillips who can actually score goals, and we've been linked to the PSG young player. Maybe that's why we're looking at other striker options. We need that anyway to bolster, but I would like someone with a bit of pace. You know what I mean? And look, I know we've got a very, very fast person in Dan James, but his finishing takes, it leaves a lot to be desired. Let's say that. Here's just some more images. So he says Roca receives the ball well from the centre backs with the instep of his right boot, opens up his body and makes the passes in one clean movement. During the 2018-19 La Liga season, he was up there with the likes of Casemiro, Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Ramos and Rakitic in terms of long passing successes. And he just here's some of the other images where he's picking up the ball and pinging it out to the right back. And he goes on to say one aspect of Marc Roca's play that could benefit Leeds is, of course, his long passing. These diagonals, progressing the ball out to the player wide on the right, are key to his game, largely due to his left-footedness. And he actually, mentions Rasmus Christiansen in his little Twitter thread that he's done, that I implore you to go out and check out. But you could imagine there just picking up them balls, spinning it out to, pinging it out to Rasmus Christiansen, him delivering a box, and Bamford getting in, getting on the end of it. But yeah, overall, I'm really, really excited with the signing of Marc Roca. And what we've got to remember is we have paid just £10 million there or thereabouts for him. I think it's a great bit of business. And like I say, now that he's over the line, there is loads out there from Leeds fans. Make sure you check out Joe Donoghue on Twitter. And the link to Tom Wilson's Focus on Leeds article is in the description. Make sure you check that one out. And thanks to we are so lucky as Leeds United fans to have an abundance of content creators, podcasters, etc., and well thought out, statos, the likes of All Stats, aren't we? Tom at Focus on Leeds. There is many, many more as well. So make sure you check them out. Albie says, hey, Joe, when will you, Lewis and JT be back together? Just love the chemistry that you three have. We will be back on Wednesday, midweek fix. Yeah, midweek fix on Wednesday. We will be back. So make sure you join us for that. Now let's get into some more transfer news. Before we do that, let's just check how we're doing on in terms of the likes on the video, because I want to get as many viewers in as possible. So there's 447 of you watching right now, so big shout out to you all. There's 148 likes, so let's get that up to 200 likes as soon as possible. And remember, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. We're on 11,972. Okay, I want to get to 12k ideally on this stream. If we can't, it's fine. But yeah, KP, Kalvin Phillips, the player that will be leaving Leeds United in this window, along with Rafinha. Any of you who had a chance to watch myself and James Marchman of Team Talk yesterday talking about the Rafinha deal, there has been developments at Barcelona in terms of some money that they're going to be able to recoup. So watch this space on Rafinha. But we're here to talk about Kalvin Phillips. Look, whether or not it's 100% credible, or if we believe it to be true, the fact that this deal or noise about a potential bid coming from PSG is great for Leeds United. And the reason I say that is because we're hearing on the grapevine that Man City see them being able to do a deal between 45 to 50 million. Now, this could have been engineered by Leeds. I know Radrazani has a good relationship with the owner of PSG. You never know. Football's shady. There's plenty of skullduggery goes down, yeah? Maybe there could have been a little word there. Maybe when we've been linked to Kalimawendo, there's been something happening there. But what this does for Leeds United puts sort of pressure on Manchester City. Makes them aware there's more than just them in the hunt, which is always a positive. If there's just one club in the hunt, they have a free run at it. And they say, all right, okay, we can play hardball. Right, we're not going to give you any money. We'll wait. And we know City will do that. Look what happened with Harry Kane. And now he's missed his move, But apparently it's been reported by a number of sources now that PSG are willing to pay Leeds 55 million for Kalvin Phillips and offer him £200,000 a week in wages. Now, I don't think when I see the £200,000 a week stuff, I'm like, I'm not really sure they need to go to them heights, really. I mean, if they want to, fair enough. You know what I mean? Calvin's laughing, but I think anything 100,000. I mean, he jumped anyway. Calvin's not motivated by money anyway, is he? It's not a mercenary, that's for sure. We've got 15 more likes for 200. Big shout out, White Peacock Andy for letting you all know that in the chat. But basically what this means is Manchester City now face serious competition for Kalvin's signature. We know Pep Guardiola sees Phillips as an ideal Fernandinho replacement. They have Romeo Lavia in their under-23 setup. He's been likened to Fernandinho. But they don't quite think he's ready for a starting berth or to challenge Rodri. That's why, of course, the links came out. Us possibly linked to Romeo Lavia. But they see Kalvin Phillips as that ideal, replacement, if you like, in the short term for Fernandinho. But PSG are entering the hunt and are looking to secure the 23 cap England international. They are willing to top Manchester City's offer and present Leeds with the £55 million bid. Furthermore, they hope to tempt Phillips to France by offering him £200,000 a week in wages. Look, I'm not sure on if I believe it 100%. I'm not sure if I believe it, but what it does do, like I've said, if it's out there in the ether, it could force Manchester City's hand into making an offer. Leeds want the offer, I believe. Leeds are ready to sell Kalvin Phillips. Even if we don't agree with it, they're ready to make that move. So it may force their hand. It may mean they come in with an initial bid higher than what they'd originally tried, But hopefully just having them interested and it being out there in the news is a positive for Leeds United, because much like Rafinha, we want to create a bidding war. We know plenty of clubs are salivating at the chance to sign Rafinha. If we can get some more involved in the Kalvin deal, then all it does is improve the price, and it means Leeds United can go to the negotiation table, playing them off one another. We Are Leeds says, I don't think Leeds want to sell him. I disagree. We Are Leeds. I think Leeds United are already engineered and ready for that. It's gone quiet on the contract front. Okay, he's been changing his agent and stuff, but I think Leeds United are ready to improve the depth and overall quality of the squad. They understand where we are. Sam, I forget his name now, who works at the Athletic, was asked that specific question by someone who said, it looks to him that it's been engineered in the press almost from Leeds United, putting it out there, and he didn't disagree. And Leeds United have to capitalise on key assets at the right time. And you could argue, due to Kalvin's injury record, the new system that we're opting to play, this is the right time to sell Kalvin. There's never a right time, in my opinion, because I'd love him to stay. I adore the man. But we're not businessmen, you know what I mean? We're not running clubs. They have no real connection to Kalvin like we do as fans. So I'd have to disagree. I think they are looking to move him on. Apparently PSG has contacted Leeds United in order to find out how much they want for him. And I just think it's a great thing to know that other clubs are interested, and it gives Leeds more, more strength when coming to the negotiation table. I don't think he'll end up at PSG. I still see him going to Manchester City. But if it means that we can increase the amount we get for Kalvin, because when I'm hearing stuff like 45 to 50 million, anything less than 50 is not acceptable for me personally. And at least with PSG entering and saying that they'd be willing to pay 55, does that then increase City's opening bid? More than likely. So it can only be, deemed a positive. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on that Kalvin to PSG stuff. Look, folks, we are 30 minutes in. There's over 500 people watching. I'm really, really grateful for your support. 200 likes on the video. Continue to like the video. We are now 24 people away. 24 people away from 12,000 subscribers. We're making little increment gains. I would love to get 12,000 subscribers on this very video. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this, it'd be great if I could get to 12,000 subscribers. And thank you all so much for your support. So much like the title tells you, oh, no problem. Even Siri says that, no problem. Thank you, whoever's just pressed that subscribe button. It means a lot. So James McAtee, the Salford, and again, another subscriber, big up to you all. The Salford Silva, the Salford David Silva, he has been coined by his Manchester City teammates. Yeah. Some of the more senior players are calling him the Salford Silva, the next in line to take over from David Silva. Big up to you all, by the way. We're just 19 people away now. We're just 19 people away from 12,000 subscribers. So I've had a couple there. Big shout out to you all. But yeah, the club, senior pros, are calling him the Salford Silva. It is James McAtee. And it is believed that Leeds are very, very keen to bring in the 19-year-old midfielder. Whether permanently or on loan, I don't see it being permanent. It was same with the Romeo Lavia stuff. I don't see that being permanent. They're being likened to the likes of legends of David Silva and Fernandinho. City are about to lose these on a permanent basis. But give me a long-term loan. Give me a 2-year loan. Let us bring these players on. They're going to get more game time at Leeds United than they are Manchester City. And no more will I accept, because I've even seen it still. In my opinion, not that, I won't accept people telling me that loans are not good enough. We're only improving other players. Look what happened to us last year when we refused as a fan base, even though the club wanted it done. Even some would tell you, oh no, they wouldn't do the deal just because it wasn't permanent. That was Codswallop. The club wanted Conor Gallagher. He didn't come to Leeds United. He went to Crystal Palace. He got himself in the England setup, and Crystal Palace had a very good season. Yeah. Had we have had him, genuinely, we'd have improved massively. We know our issues in midfield, Adam Forshaw, in and out, etc. Conor Gallagher would have improved this team no end. So I won't agree with you. It's entirely your opinion. Yeah, it's entirely your opinion. You're entitled to it. But to say, I don't want a loan, no. We have to recognise where we are as a football club. And if we can take players from top elite clubs like Manchester City that are going to improve the overall squad, even if they're not first teamers, then you can't turn that down. Jason says Gallagher was critical for that Palace team, top 3 on that team. Exactly. He earned himself an England call-up, and people wanted to tell us last summer that, they said, he's no good. You're rubbish at West Brom. That's another thing that's really frustrating. Just because they play in a poor side does not make them a poor player. Monster in the bank. But yeah, so James McAtee, whether we want him permanently or loan, as I say, I only see us getting a loan. They want to keep him close to their first team. We know Pep Guardiola prefers to do that, much like Marcelo Bielsa, because we've seen that with Phil Foden. He really, really not stifled, that's the wrong word, because now Foden's a generational talent up there, but he held him back, and there were many, many City fans that would say, why aren't we playing Phil? Could have sent him out on loan. It was the same with Leeds fans with Joe Gelhardt last season, you know what I mean? And I said, I likened it to that. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Phil Foden. We never know. We know Gelhardt's ceiling is up there. He's been nominated for Golden Boy Award. You know what I mean? That's insane. That's insane to know that he's at our football club and he's up there with some amazing players on that list. But you could argue, Pep prefers to do that, keep them close, little bits here and there with the first team, training with the first team, improving them that way. But the key thing in this, much like the Romeo Lavia stuff, is that Leeds United have that bargaining chip of Kalvin Phillips. They want Kalvin. PSG are now entering that race for Kalvin. Yeah. So what can we do as a football club? Well, I know Victor Orta is good at his job. People will tell me he's not. I rate him. It is what it is, passion merchant football. But we can be sat at that table and say, look, okay, we'll take 50 million, but we want to take him on loan for the next 2 seasons. We want to take him on loan for a season. And it gives Leeds a little bit of power. It gives them a little bit of power. They do want to keep him close to their first team and are not thought to be open to any departure. But their resolve may be tested should the Phillips pursuit drag on. And it may drag on. We've added a little bit of sauce and a little bit of spice this morning with the news that PSG want him. Apparently Brighton have been interested in McAtee's signature last summer, but it wasn't an option. And it still isn't an option, we're being told. But again, they're losing Cucurella. That could be another thing to consider in this. They're going to be losing Cucurella to City, so they may end up with McAtee. But what I will say is Brighton's recruitment is exceptional. Okay, they're missing a striker, but everywhere else across the pitch, their recruitment has been exceptional. They have a great manager in Graham Potter who knows a player. And they want him as well. So that's something you have to consider as well. He's technically gifted and a versatile attacking player. He has also featured regularly for England at youth international level. He was given his City debut in the same game that Romeo Lavia was, where they battered Wycombe Wanderers 6-1, I believe. He came on as a substitute in that game and has featured 5 times as a substitute, twice in the Premier League, twice in the FA Cup, and once in the Champions League. So he was even in that Champions League squad. Okay, he hasn't featured, but just being involved in that Champions League squad shows, how well thought of he is. And, this is Pep Guardiola, this is Pep Guardiola that we're talking about. He knows a player. He's made 28 appearances in the Development League back in 21-22 and earned the Players' Player of the Year award at City. Again, winning accolades at a club that, just trounced the Development League and continues to have exceptional talent coming through at this moment in time. And it is claimed that Leeds United are huge fans of the youngster and would love to sign him. And as I've said, he has been likened to, in and around Manchester City, as the next David Silva. They are calling him the Salford Silva. So that's one that really, really excites me. And look, if Romeo Lavia comes in and James McAtee comes in, okay, they might not be first team starters, but what it is doing is making our squad Premier League worthy. Graham Smith got it best a couple of weeks back when he said, this squad needs to not have Premier League potential, but Premier League quality. That's what it needs. That's what we need. So I'm really excited by the James McAtee link. Even the Kalvin Phillips to PSG is good for Leeds United because it means that, we can command a bigger fee. Let them know, well, we've been contacted by PSG, City, so they're willing to give the player this, this, and this, and give us this, this, and this. So what are you going to do, So that's a positive as well. And obviously Marc Roca getting through the door yesterday improves the squad no end for me. We're now just 17 people away from 12,000 subscribers. If you're new to the channel, let's get to 12K. Please, let's make that happen. Leeds United Ultras, super chat. Big up. Thank you for that, mate. He says, hi, Joe, no left back coming. I hear, mate. Doesn't look like that. I think the way the club are looking at it, let me know your thoughts on the left back chase, folks. I think the club are looking at it and saying, we're keeping Junior Firpo. We have Leo Hjelde. We have Pascal Struijk. And you could argue, and I like the sound of this because I know from a friend of mine that when Jack Harrison initially went to City and he was sent out on loan, they sort of earmarked him as a potential left back. This is what I was told, okay? You have to believe that. That's what I was told. Obviously, he came to Leeds. You know, I wouldn't have thought it as that, but there's a lot of fans making that assumption and putting it out there in the ether. And I think Jack Harrison could do a job as a left wing back for sure. And our width, primarily, I believe this season will come from our fullbacks. We may even go with a back three. We will in some games against top opposition. We know that. So I think they maybe look at it and say, we have Firpo. We spent a lot of money on him. We don't want to, you know, relegate him to the bench, knowing how much he's on per week, etc., etc. So, you know, he's going to be your starting left back, yeah? You've then got Hjelde, you've got Strauch, and then potentially Jack Harrison as well. I believed, you know, Marsh was going to take a look at Leif Davis, and maybe that was a potential option. Heard on the grapevine from someone who is pretty connected at a higher level in terms of board levels at certain football clubs, told me that clubs were turning down the option to sign Leif. Bournemouth turned him down for 1.5 million. Clubs in League One, the likes of Ipswich and Oxford, have also turned down Leif Davis. So it's clear they're touting him out. So they don't see him as a potential replacement for Firpo or a substitute for Firpo. They're probably happy with having Strauch. And you know what? It might give Strauch and Hjelde more game time as well. Because, you know, you would argue the three centre-backs, whether you agree or disagree, ahead of them are, you know, Cooper. You have, of course, Llorente and Robin Koch as well. So doesn't look like a left-back. Would I like one? Yes. I would pay money for Charlie Taylor. I know a lot of Leeds fans wouldn't go for that, but for me, I would go get Charlie Taylor. But thank you for your comment there, Leeds United Ultras. Thanks for that. Jamie W says, think we need two midfielders if KP leaves. I think we will get two midfielders if KP leaves, Jamie W, and I agree with you. I think Romeo Lavia would be an option. Tyler Adams would be, for me, an almost perfect replacement for Kalvin Phillips. I would like to see Tyler Adams come in. Fabrizio Romano spoke about Tyler Adams and said, you know, Leeds United are one of the clubs that are interested in him. I think he'd be a great signing for us. He's worked under Jesse before. Anyone that has worked under Jesse only ever speaks well of the man. You know, regardless of what I think about what I seen at the back end of last season, it's a fresh slate. It's a new start. You know, it's not about, in terms of bringing in players, he's only ever got a good track record with the players that he's worked with before. They also, Jesse Key. So if Kalvin goes, I think we may see Tyler Adams and Romeo Lavia, or Tyler Adams and another. Yeah, Tyler Adams and another. So watch this space on that. But I do agree with you. I think we need two midfielders. You've then got, you know, the likes of Click, you've got Forshaw, etc. Bruno Lips Games says, do you think we should sign Ben Foster? I know KG is a big fan of Ben Foster, mentioned him. Been a lot of articles on what KG has said. I know he joined us earlier on. I do think we should go for Ben Foster. I don't think Christopher Clarkson is ready for Premier League football. And if we get an injury, it would be a nightmare, because regardless of how well Christopher Clarkson did against Wolves, he's not ready for the Premier League. So I think we should go for an experienced number two that will help improve Meslier, also push Meslier, because if we're being totally honest, I have a very high opinion of Meslier, and I think he will go to be France's number one. I think he'll go to an elite club when the time comes, and we'll make a lot of money on the 5 million that we paid for him, because goalkeepers, can come at a premium if they're up there. And I do rate him that highly. He's still very, very young. But we need someone to push him on. He didn't have a great season last season. We need someone to push him on and also give a little bit of, a challenge for that number one spot, you can argue. And I think Ben Foster would be great. I think Ben Foster would be happy to be a number two. And let's not forget, Ben Foster last season played 38 plus games. For a Premier League side, yes, they went down, but he's still getting game time. It's still, fresh, if you like. I'm just having a look at some stuff over on Twitter, Eddie Nketiah has signed his new contract at Arsenal, so that means he won't be coming to Leeds United. But remember I told you that he was the Premier League striker that we were looking at, and people said, no, I was right, man. I told you. I was right about Roca, and I was right about Rasmus Christensen. I told you these folks were in, man. Stick with me, man. Stick with me. Good friend of mine, Anthony Fenwick, says should have gone for Bert Leno. Bert Leno will be on decent money and will want to be a number one. I believe he's gone to do that at Fulham. In terms of a goalkeeper, we don't want someone to replace Meslier. We want someone to challenge him. I think Bert Leno would want to be a number one. He wouldn't come and want to sit on the bench at Leeds United. Whereas Ben Foster, who is in the twilight of his career, has already come out and said he'd be happy to do that and therefore wouldn't be on such a big a wage as what Bert Leno will be on. I think he'll be on a decent wage. Would have been at Arsenal when he made that move from Leverkusen, I believe. Obviously, they've now gone for Ramsdale, but I don't see Leno as being a realistic option. Justin says, come on, so close to 12k. We can do it for him. Thanks, Joe. Great show. Yeah, live subscriber count as we are talking is 11,985. So we are just 15 people away from 12k subscribers. If we don't do it, it's fine. It's fine. But come on, man. Help a brother out and hit that like button. Get your comments in now. I've gone through the latest transfer news, the information that I would like to discuss. If you want to discuss anything, get your comments in. Otherwise, we can bring the live stream to a close. Just see my man Oscar tweet as well. Oscar made a great shout yesterday that I believe I sort of back. He made the claim that he thinks at Leeds United in the Premier League, Marc Roca will get a call up to the Spanish first team. So I'm backing that as well. I think he may well do that as well. He may well do that. Thank you for whoever has just subscribed there as well. Big shout out to you all. John Shaw says, any news on the stadium rebuild? I don't think that's happening. Big shout out to that new subscriber as well that's just done that for me. Thank you. 13 people away now. I think that's going to take a backward step, and I think it should, John, because Leeds United flirted with relegation, risked it all last season with the way they went about it, and they don't want to be doing that again, you know. So for me, first and foremost, the playing squad has to be right. We need to get secure Premier League status. Normally 2 years you can do that. Wolves did it, pushed on. Villa did it, pushed on. Big shout out to that new subscriber who's just subscribed there as well. 12 people away now. So I think it needs to take a back burner, and rightly should. Yeah, I think it should. Jeff Shannon says, don't you think that Minamino would be a great signing? Loving your content from Central US. Big shout out to Jeff and the USA conglomerate or USA folks that have started tuning into the channel now that we have Jesse Marsh at the helm, Brendan Aronson, maybe even Tyler Adams, some more coming in there as well. Who knows, in a couple of seasons we might be signing Pulisic, Weston McKennie, the USA men's national team America. But Jeff, thank you very much. Do I think Minamino would be a good signing? Yes, I do. I think he would improve our squad. There's not been really an update on Minamino, has there, since a few weeks now. I believe his agent was in Europe, not so much the UK, was in Europe touting him out. There are a number of clubs interested in him. I believe Liverpool believed that they would get a deal done. I'm just having a look now on the Liverpool Echo. There was an update an hour ago, so let's see what that one says just on Minamino. 2 clubs have joined the race and front runners emerged for Liverpool deal. Let's have a look what the Liverpool Echo is saying. The Echo understands that both Lyon and Atalanta are also interested in signing the forward, with the Reds demanding a fee of around £17 million. Monaco remain the front runners for his signature. My Wi-Fi looks like it's dropped for a second, folks, so just bear with me. My young'uns will be on the Wi-Fi. I'll just drop a quick text there to tell them. They've been out on their hoverboards and their electric scooters early, and they've probably just come in and all gone on the phones. So that's what that'll be. My apologies. Send a quick text there to the gaffer. Will say get off the Wi-Fi. Just bear with me while that does that. Hopefully, I believe it sorted itself out. Yeah, so it's saying that Monaco remain the front runners for his signature after selling Tuchemani. I mentioned that at the time when I did the video for Minamino, that with them selling Tuchemani to Real Madrid, it meant they have cash available. And it looks like they're the front runners. So it looks to me that Minamino's probably going to leave the Premier League and probably play for a club that's playing in the Champions League. At first glance, unless he wants to stay in England. But looking at it, I know Wolves were interested, but it looks like he could be heading for the continent. What would you do if you were in Minamino's shoes? Would a move to France and Italy, excite you? Probably. I think, although I did get told in the comments 17 million for a Premier League player, done well at Liverpool whenever called upon, is it 17 million a little bit too much? You could argue it may be. It may be, but like James, said to us a couple of weeks back, the reason that Liverpool got Minamino so cheap in the first place is because there was one of them buyout clauses. So the reason they got him for the price they did is because they were a buyout clause. If they weren't that buyout clause, they may well have had to pay more. So his market value probably maybe around the 17 million mark. Folks, since I've just clicked off that page and had a look at the Minamino stuff, we are on 11,992 subscribers. So we are just 8 people away from 12,000 subscribers. I'm determined to get them 12,000 subscribers by the end of this stream. So if you are new and you want to get your comments read out and heard, then please do subscribe to the channel. Jason says, get the kids off the Xbox. Exactly. Any more questions or comments anyone would like me to take a look at? I know there's a lot saying about Rashkin and a number of players, but I've never seen any credible links to these players. Ewan Downey's just subscribed. Thank you very much, Ewan. Thanks for joining the Just Joe Football Show. You're a legend. Like this, would you sign Noah Lang? Just 6 people away now from hitting that 12k subscriber mark. Thank you for those that have just joined. Jason R said, if I could, I would subscribe twice. I love your channel. Thank you very much. So the Noah Lang, I believe he's set for AC Milan. Avilio, I believe that is happening. Would I have took him at Leeds United? Yes. Do I think his temperament and attitude would have fit into the Leeds United setup, especially under Bielsa? No. He's not got a great attitude. Basically, he's said a lot about Belgium. He's got involved in anti-Semitic chants. You could argue he might say, well, I didn't know what they were, etc. But we're living in 2022. You can easily see that. Looking at this 2 days ago, he says he has no agreement with Milan. So maybe that deal isn't going to happen. Let me just have a look at what's been said. He has denied he has an agreement in place with AC Milan over personal terms. As speculation about his future continues to swirl. We know that Victor Orta tried to sign him. People said that maybe Bielsa turned him down and opted for Dan James, etc. I believe that was incorrect because Noah Lang himself came out and said that Leeds United went out to speak to him, went to Belgium to speak to him. Victor Orta is keen on him. Do I think, as I said earlier, he would have fit into the Leeds United setup in terms of attitude and stuff? Probably not. Bielsa was big on that stuff. Maybe it's changed. I've seen a lot of fans not agree with what he said and not want him to come in. I'm just looking at the most recent update. So we've got here on Hammers News, West Ham news. West Ham surely should be in a strong position to beat Leeds United to the signing of Noah Lang. So apparently both Hammers and Leeds want to sign the 23-year-old attacker. according to a number of Belgian outlets. Lang even confirmed that Leeds' interest in signing was concrete when speaking at the start of the month. We know, as I said just a second ago, that we did go out and try speak to him. Apparently West Ham are interested in him. He's a great player. He's got great potential. It's there to see. It's there to see, but you have to take into consideration things like attitude and stuff. You know, I remember Ten Hag. There was a video of Ten Hag having a go at him during his time at Ajax, where he was saying, Noah, pass the ball. This is not your game. This is our game. You know, and that's why they moved him on to Club Brugge. So, you know, he's always had issues coming through. This might be wrong of me to make this comparison, because Noah Lang maybe could go further in the game, but will go further in the game. But I also think this player I'm going to make the link to should have gone further in the game. Should have certainly got Premier League appearances under his hat, which is Samu Saiz. Samu Saiz, for me, in that first season, was a joy to watch. Joy to watch. Liverpool were linked once upon a time, and then, he did what he did. He spat at a player who wanted to go home. Bielsa let him go even before the transfer window and the deal, and I now believe he's playing second division in Spain. That shows you how important application and, you know, having the right attitude is needed, because Samu was exceptional. He was a top player. And Noah Lang could go that same way, because, like I said, issues at Ajax with Ten Hag, goes to Club Brugge. He's had issues there. He spoke ill of the Belgium league. You know, we'll have to wait and see. I think Noah Lang will go for whoever wants to pay him the most money, to be honest. I don't know him personally, but that's the sort of vibe that I get. So, yeah, folks, we're just 3 people away. 3 people away from 12,000 subscribers. If you're new here, please do subscribe to the channel. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Noah Lang. Samantha says we need him. He's a fantastic buy. But do we need him, though, if he comes in and upsets the apple cart and upsets the dressing room? I'd argue no. We'll wait and see what happens there. Yeah, please do keep it to football, Andy. You're right. I don't know what's been said, but, you know, we've got moderators in the chat. If people are not speaking about football and speaking other stuff and it's not accepted, then they will remove the comments. Just be wary of that. Yeah, Blinky Fish says, we don't want a bad apple. We don't need a bad apple. Lucy M says, sounds like Cooper will be pulling his hair out with Lang. Yeah. You know, we hopefully, and someone's mentioned Aronson in the chat, hopefully we'll get some of that excitement that Samu used to give us with his dribbling ability and being able to take players on, you know, from Brendan Aronson. I'm really, really excited to see these players linked. Jamie says, any news on Mohamed Kamara? Well, let's have a look again. I've seen Mohamed Kamara linked from fans in my comments, but I've not seen anything tangible from people that have credibility when it comes to, you know, actual evidence and carries depth and weight. Do you know what I mean? That's why I don't do loads of videos if I don't think it's likely to happen or it carries a bit of depth and weight. If I've done a video, it's because someone in the Leeds United ether who is well connected has spoke about it. Someone like Fabrizio Romano on the outside, other, you know, sports papers that have depth and weight. We see a lot where someone will make a comment, an ex-pro, an ex-player. So you might get Danny Mills say Leeds United should buy Mohamed Kamara, yeah. And then the article go Leeds looking at Mohamed Kamara. You then look at the article and it tells you, you know what it is. It's undoubted that Mohamed Kamara is a top player. You know, Bruno Lips's mentioned Eric Bothheim being linked with Leeds. We spoke about that yesterday. these may, are decent players, but I'm not sure the link's credible and tangible. If you see me do a transfer video, it's because I believe in what's being reported. Do you know what I mean? But let's have a look. So there was an article done. I'm just looking at the most recent article for Mo Kamara. See, the last article that I can see was 6 days ago, almost a week ago. Prior to that, you're looking at 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So there's no real up-to-date news. The last article came from Leeds United Live. Let's have a look where this is come from. The arrival. Let's talk about Minamino in that as well. Yeah, it says there there hasn't been any concrete links to another Salzburg player, but then want to talk about a Salzburg player. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, we admit there's no concrete links, but we're going to talk about it anyway. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. It's like when you see I've done a video, it's because it's carrying depth and weight. That's the only reason. You'll see. One Leeds, Connor, good friend of mine, just tweeted out. He says a decision on Romeo Lavia's future, according to his representatives, is being made between clubs in Belgium or England. Teams in the lower half of the Premier League and Championship clubs are battling for his signature. That's come from the secret scout. I don't know the credibility of the secret scout. It would make sense that he is making a decision. We know that Victor Orta made that trip to Belgium just the other day. He was spotted in Manchester, making that trip to Belgium. He was spotted in Manchester, boarding the flight to Belgium. There's 550 people watching, by the way. Please do smash a like. Everyone's telling me 12k. However, I've still got 11,998 here on my live subscriber count. So there'll be some shady tactics from people in the chat. Will be subscribing and unsubscribing just for laughs. It happens a lot. But yeah, there's an update on that. So from the Secret Scout on the One Leeds fan channel Twitter page, you've been popping out and keeping everyone updated with transfer news on their Twitter feed. So drop Connor a follow over there. He's saying that teams in the lower half of the Premier League and Championship clubs are battling for his signature. You would imagine teams in the lower half of the Premier League last season, i.e. Leeds United, would beat any Championship outfit unless he's looking for X amount of game time. But we shall see. We shall see, but let's have a look. Let's see if that subscriber, there we go. The live subscriber count says that we have hit 12,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. We've done it on this said video. I am so grateful for all your continued support. I've set myself the target. I'm going to share with you. I've set myself the target of 15k by Christmas. 15k by Christmas. Hopefully I can do that. Was it that or was it 20? I can't remember. I have set myself a target. I'm gonna have to update you on that. You see if we can get there. So use because I know yous that watch me regularly quite invested in it as well and want to see it grow and stuff as well. Which I love to see, and I'd love to get some of yous involved more, even if we do like fans phoning kind of vibe kind of video. That'd be great as well, where I send you the link, come in, ask you a question, have a chat, and then move on to the next one. That's something I have planned for the coming season. Let me just have a look. What was I thinking of doing? Was it 20k? No, yeah, it was 20k. 20k by the end of the year. I want to get to, which is another 8,000 subscribers. It might seem like a pipe dream, but I'm sure we will get there. Scott Lightning says maybe he was off to Belgium for Noah Lang. I don't see us moving in. I don't see us making that move for Noah Lang. I don't. I think that ship has sailed. He'd probably go to a Champions League squad. He's been linked to Milan, although he's not agreed a deal. Still think he'll want to go for that prestigious club. And I think he's a bit of a bad apple. I think he's a bit of an apple if you're asking for my opinion. So I don't think he'd fit into the dressing room. Junior Firpo told Roca how important the dressing room is, etc. I don't see us making that move. Look, great video, great updates. Great updates. if I do say so myself. No, we've had some good updates. We've had over 500 people watching, which is great to see. Obviously, we're basically just to round off. Marc Roca's a Leeds United player. Kalvin could be on his way to PSG, or at least be rivaled for his signature, which is only a positive for Leeds United because it's going to improve the transfer fee. And of course, we have been linked to the Salford David Silva in James McAtee. What a super chat coming in there from White Peacock, Andy. I want to thank you so much for all your continued support. He's a member, he's a moderator, he is a top guy. Andy, I love you so much, mate. Thank you for your continued support and help on the channel. Thanks so much, Andy. Someone's just asked me, and I want to get to it, Tom Zanetti. I don't think it's the Tom Zanetti. I hope it is. I used to listen to Tom Zanetti and seen him in Halifax a few times at the club Nemesis, but I don't think it will be the Tom Zanetti, T to the Z. Lyrical bad man, lyrical G. Back in the day, I used to love it. What about this young fella from PSG? Yes, Kalvin Phillips. Let's have a look and see if I've had any updates or anything tangible since we last spoke about him just the other day. If we look at the latest news, 2 days ago, which is when we dropped the video, so there hasn't been anything since then. No updates since then on Kalvin Phillips. So it's all coming 2 days ago. Obviously, the original article came from the Daily Mail. There we go. Tom says, no, it's not, but he's a relative of mine. No worries. Send my love to Tom Zanetti. I used to love listening to him. And if he ever wants to come on the channel, then tell him, speak to him. But yeah, look, the Independent, was the one that broke the story for us making an offer. Could well be, yeah. Kalvin Phillips, Leeds, make an offer, PSG and then linked to Kalvin. Could there be something in that? Maybe they're asking them put something out there, you don't know. City making moves for Kalvin, were then linked to James McAtee and Romeo Lavia. This stuff carries depth and weight. You have to put these things together. We'll see. There we go. Vic says, yeah, we've got the best looking team in the league and the best looking content creators as well. If I do say so myself. Thank you, look, everyone, for your support. We got to 12k subscribers on this. I'm just having a look to see if there's been any more updates as we've been live. It looks like Jean-Kevin Augustin has just signed for FC Basel. So he is signed. Vic says, who do you think Orta was going to see in Belgium? I reckon Romeo Lavia, and also could have popped over to France to see about Kalvin Phillips. I think it's that. Some say Noah Lang. I don't see us moving for Noah Lang because I think he's a bit of a bad apple. But then again, we tried to sign him, so you never know. Victor would have gone over again and presented him with his videos like he did with Marc Roca. Some players buy into that. Noah Lang didn't buy into that. Marc Roca did. Other players have. I don't know. I don't think we should sign Noah Lang. I don't. That's just my opinion. Marc Roca's in the door. We've got 3 players in by the 18th of June. Last season, we didn't make our first team signing till the 17th of July. We are making moves. We have, our pre-season tour in less than 4 weeks. Leeds United are going to have the majority of their new players in the door, before we even start there. I imagine they'll want Phillips and Rafinha out of the door if they are going before then as well. They may even stay back. Brett says apparently we're in talks for George Hall of Birmingham. Yeah, that there as well. That him and Sonny Perkins, I believe, will be done, but these won't be first team signings. I think George Hall and Sonny Perkins will go into the under-23 setup. I think the under-23s this season will be better just because I think there will be a disconnect between the first team and the under-23s. Bielsa, much like we were speaking about, Pep likes to keep the youth setup so close together. Yes, Jesse may still take players from there if they're of sufficient quality, but there will be a disconnect. And I think that's probably maybe better for the under-23s status overall. I don't know if it'll be better for the individuals within that squad, but it'll be better for their status because, as we know, we lost Premier League 2 status last season. So let's get promoted, and with signings like George Hall, Sonny Perkins, maybe some of the others that have been on the periphery of the squad, Gray, for example, dropping back down into there, playing regular game time and getting them promoted can only be a positive for Leeds United. Eric Boffheim says all things Leeds United. Yeah, I'm not sure, mate. We spoke about him. I don't see it happening. Don't know much about him again. It comes back to credibility of sources. Have we got that? We shall see. But look, as I just had a look on the old Twitter sphere, my good friend Connor has just started a live stream. So I think that is a perfect time for us to leave it there. So all you folks can jump on over and go check out Connor at One Lead. So he's currently live now. So you might as well jump over. Maybe echoing the same things I've said, but he'll be jumping over there. So make sure you pop on over there, like his video, subscribe to his channel as well, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. We've done over an hour. We hit 12K. I'm full of gratitude. Yous are full of love. I love each and every one of you. Keep it locked at the Just Joe Football Show. Hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. Make sure you pop on over there. And thanks for joining me this Saturday. Maybe we'll come back tomorrow. I don't know. But listen, enjoy the rest of your weekend. And just love, man. I've got so much love for each and every one of you, genuinely. And thanks for joining me on Saturday. Peace out. Oh, I nearly ended it wrong there. Peace out, Leeds. Thank you.